All right, today we're gonna be doing a Kanye West album tier list ranking here today. We have all, 12 Kanye projects, I believe? Yeah, 12 Kanye projects. This is including Kitsy Ghosts, and this is including Watch the Throne and Cruel Summer. So we're gonna be ranking these. We got the D tier, C tier, B tier, A tier, S tier. This is, of course, just off of my personal opinion. Music is subjective. This is based off of what I enjoy the most. And yeah, this is also, keep in mind, this is all relative within Kanye's music itself. So if something in this list is a D tier, it's probably not a D tier for like Imagine Dragons or something. It's probably an S tier, but within Kanye's music itself, that's what I'm ranking this based on. So how about we just do this chronologically? I guess we can start off with College Dropout. Right off the bat, I'm feeling an A. I love College Dropout so much. First Kanye album, of course. I did a reaction to this on my YouTube channel, so you can check that out if you want. I loved it on a first listen. The production is amazing. The soul samples are amazing. His writing is amazing. It was groundbreaking when it came out. There was really nothing like it when it came out. Yeah, just great tracks on there like Jesus Walks, Through the Wire, where he literally rapped in the hospital through the wire. Family Business is one of my favorites as well. I think it's an A tier. It might move up to S. We'll see. Yeah, I'm thinking A tier right off the bat. We got Late Registration next. I'm also thinking A tier. I don't think I enjoy it as much as College Dropout, but it is still super amazing. The production, once again, kind of similar to College Dropout. This is great sound, so it doesn't really matter. Rapping is amazing. And like I said in my College Dropout reaction, this is actually when Kanye felt kind of relatable in his writing and relatable as a person, obviously before he went crazy. So yeah, I enjoy the writing. I enjoy the production a lot. Hey Mama is great. Roses is great. Diamonds from Sierra Leone. There's a lot of quality tracks on here. I don't think I like it as much as College Dropout, but like just below it, I would say. Next up, we have Graduation. Admittedly, I'm not the biggest fan of Graduation. I think it's gonna go probably in a B tier. I think this Kanye album has probably the most misses out of like a Kanye solo project. Drunken Hot Girls is one of his worst songs. I'm not a big fan of Barry Bonds or Big Brother, or I think that's it. But there is some great tracks on here as well, like Everything I Am. I love the piano beat on that. I love Good Morning. I love Good Life with T-Pain. Overall, it's got some really good vibes, and it's kind of, I guess you could say, Kanye's departure from like straight hip hop. It is very pop inspired. But at the same time, I feel like the production does sound a little bit dated at times on this album. So that kind of holds it back a little bit for me from being higher. And like I said, the misses like Drunken Hot Girls and that stuff. So yeah, I think B is fair. I'm not a big fan of it. Next up, we have 808s and Heartbreak. Now, I know how influential this album is. I know it influenced artists like Travis, Drake, most of the melodic kind of rap and trap that we have today. So I know how influential and important it is, but sonically, I'm just not the biggest fan of it. I did love it on a first listen, but the more I go back to it, it just kind of is growing off me a little bit. Don't get me wrong. Kanye set the foundation and set the base for this sound. So if I was listening to this in 2008 when it came out, I would probably enjoy it a lot more. But I just think there's artists doing this sound better today that I would rather listen to. If I wanted to go to an artist for this sound, I would probably go to a guy like Travis Scott. And that's not a diss on Kanye. That just means that this sound has gotten better over time and artists have done this sound better. Once again, I know how influential it is. I know he was like the first person to create this sound and do this sound. I'm not the biggest fan of it sonically, and yeah, it's not terrible. I don't come back to it that often. I think it's gonna go maybe just under Graduation. It might go over, we'll see. Dark Fantasy is next. Dark Fantasy, we're putting this in, ooh, should I put it in an S? I don't know if I'm gonna put it in an A for now. I know this is people's favorite Kanye album, a lot of people's. I know this is a lot of people's favorite album of all time. It's maximalist. The production's great throughout. The amount of features is insane. The amount of people that worked on this project is insane, and you can definitely tell that, like I said, with the kind of maximalist quality to the sound of it. I think Blame Game holds it back a little bit. I'm not the biggest fan of that song. And I think overall the mixing of it and just this, it sounds like there's something about it when I listen to this project. It sounds a little bit dated for some reason. And that doesn't happen when I listen to College Dropout or Late Registration. But when I listen to Dark Fantasy, for some reason, it sounds a little bit dated. Don't get me wrong, there's great tracks on there. Runaway, Devil in a New Dress, Power, All of the Lights, Gorgeous. The features are great. Kanye's rapping is great throughout most of the time. The writing is great throughout. There's just Blame Game, and then just the fact that it sounds a little bit dated to me holds it back from being an S. Who knows? I might put it in S later. We'll see. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in A for now, just above College Dropout and Late Registration. All right, let's move on to what is next. Watch the Throne, I believe. I think it is Watch the Throne. I think I'm gonna put Watch the Throne in C. I'm not the biggest fan of this. I don't come back to it very often. Kanye and Jay, they have some good chemistry. The beats are nice. Production is nice for a lot of it, but there's just something about it that isn't that memorable to me. Even though I said the production is great, I find it less interesting than a lot of the production on Kanye's stuff. I think I'm gonna put it in C because I don't enjoy it that much. Cruel Summer, that's going into D tier. Not much of an explanation there, just not a great project. Kanye's really barely on it. After that, we have Yeezus. Yeezus, I'm gonna put, okay, I think I'm gonna put Yeezus in B tier. This used to be like my favorite Kanye album. It has grown off me a little bit. It is, I guess you could say, experimental hip hop, but at the time when it came out, it wasn't like the most groundbreaking or experimental thing in terms of hip hop, especially when you had guys like Death Grips out there at the time. So it's still pretty solid though. Bound 2 is one of Kanye's best songs. Another thing holding this back too is the writing on it. A lot of Kanye's writing on this is not the greatest and not his best work, but I do think the production is pretty interesting throughout most of it. All right, next up we have Life of Pablo. This is going in S tier. This is probably my favorite Kanye project, I would say. This is Kanye at his most wild, unpredictable, crazy self. And I know how I was just talking about him being relatable, but I think there's the relatable version of Kanye and then there's the crazy version of Kanye. And if I want the most crazy version of Kanye and the most potent version of that, I think I'm gonna go to The Life of Pablo. Production is honestly some of Kanye's most experimental stuff in terms of the production, like more experimental than Yeezus. I just love this project overall. Like it's insanely good. It's insanely good. Famous is one of Kanye's best songs. Ultralight Beam is on there. Father Stretch My Hands. No More Parties in LA. St. Pablo. There's so many good tracks on this. So many bangers. And like I said, this is Kanye just unfiltered, at his most wild, at his most insane. And I love it. And the production matches that as well. And I think it just works super well. So yeah, I'm gonna put that in S tier. I think it's amazing. It might be Kanye's best album. We'll see once we get to the end of this. But all right. I think Ye is next. I think it came out just before Kitsy Ghosts. Right off the bat, I'm feeling like a high B tier. I think Ye is one of Kanye's most overhated albums. And I think a lot of that comes with it being too short maybe. But I love like the mental health themes on this record. I love how open Kanye was about his bipolar disorder, of course. The production is amazing throughout as well. The writing is great. There is some tracks on there that kind of feel like throwbacks to College Dropout and Late Registration era. Kanye. Ghost Town is probably a top 10 Kanye song as well. So that itself kind of propels it this high. There's great features on there. Kid Cudi, 007, Shake, is that her name? I think she's the one on Ghost Town. Yeah, it's amazing. I think it's super overhated and I think it might go to A, but I'm gonna keep it in B for now. Next up, we have Kitsy Ghosts. Right off the bat, I'm feeling S. I'm feeling S. I know Anthony Fantano gave this a 10, but it's such a good length, bro. It's such a good length. Like, maybe it's just my short attention span, but I feel like a lot of albums are just way too long. But I think this doesn't waste any time. I think it comes in, does its job, gets out, entertains you for 20 minutes, doesn't waste your time, doesn't bore you for 1 second. And the production on this is experimental. It's groundbreaking. It's like, I've never heard anything like the production on this. Kanye and Kid Cudi's chemistry is amazing on this. There's great features on this as well, and they're super open about both of their mental health struggles, which I love. And like I said, I love the length as well. It doesn't waste your time at all. Gets in, does its job, gets out. I love Free is probably my favorite track, Ghost Town Part 2. The drum fills on that, the kind of rock-inspired instrumental. The free vocals are insane. Reborn is an emotional masterpiece, and some of Kanye's best writing, some of his most vulnerable writing. And this 2018 era of Kanye is honestly really impressive with Ye and then Kitsy Ghosts and the Pusha T project that he worked on as well. very impressive in 2018 from Kanye. So I think it's gonna go S. I think it's below Pablo, but yeah, I think it's gonna go S. Donda, I'm feeling like a B tier. It has grown on me. It has grown on me quite a bit because I did give it a 6 out of 10 when I reviewed it, but I think it is still too long. I think there's some tracks that I absolutely don't need on there. I do think the production throughout a lot of it is very like avant-garde and very groundbreaking as well though. There's very little drums. There's great tracks like Believe What I Say with the Lauryn Hill sample, Come to Life, super emotional with the piano, 24, Moon with Cudi and Don Toliver, and Off the Grid with Cardi, of course, is just a banger. I think it's gonna go in B, maybe just above Ye. This is so tough, bro. This is so tough. I think I might move 808s down. I'm gonna move 808s down as much as that might make people mad. I'm gonna move it down to C. I think this is my B tier. I think this is my A. I feel honestly pretty comfortable with this right now. Yeah, we got Pablo at number 1, Kitsy Ghosts number 2, Dark Fantasy 3, College Dropout 4, Late Registration, Donda, Ye, Yeezus, Graduation, Watch the Throne. Oh wait, no. We gotta put 808s above Watch the Throne. 808s, Watch the Throne, and then Cruel Summer. Where's Jesus King? Huh? I just realized, where's Jesus King? I guess it's not on here. If it was on here, I would put Jesus King in maybe D tier. I think I would put it just above Cruel Summer. So I would have Cruel Summer as the worst, Jesus King just above it. That's gonna do it for this video. Let me know your thoughts on this album tier list ranking, of course, down below. Let me know your ranking down below. And once again, this is just my opinion. Don't get too mad. I mean, you can get mad, but just keep in mind that it is my opinion and it's not the end of the world. Leave a like if you want to, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.